Hey everyone, it's Minty, and today I was in the mood to do some character design, so I hopped over to Pinterest and started scrolling for some inspiration because I wasn't sure what video I wanted to film. Then I came across this, and I thought, if there was someone who lived here, what would they look like? And boom, inspiration, motivation, art block? Who's she? Once I had this idea, I chucked my homework out the window and pulled out my sketchbook. Feeling possessed by the motivation, I actually used references for once. Sure, the poses aren't super dynamic at all, but at least with the first one, it just looks so much more natural than my usual lazy, straight-on poses. So I'm going to be using references a lot more from now on because I feel like I haven't really been trying with my poses, and it definitely hasn't helped me improve. This first character is inspired by this very overgrown, abandoned city. That's an understatement. So I'm not sure how she would actually be living here. I can imagine her living kind of outside of the city and she goes in here to adventure, or maybe it's her way to school or something in the future. So I don't think she actually lives in all this swampy mess, but this is how I imagine her to look. And if I were to put her somewhere in this image, I think she would be walking through that bridge thingy above the swamp. I used my artist brain cells to color pick from this image and then choose the markers that I was going to use, and I ended up with this kind of desaturated-ish green, grey, black, brown, and a bit of white as well. I was pretty proud of this color scheme, but now looking back, all I see in her eyes is olive. No, I mean my OC Olive. She looks really similar to her. But oh well, I still like her. She's holding a stick in her arms. Definitely didn't do that for no reason. But looking back, I think that it could be a way to sort of get through all the leaves and vines. You know how in the movies when they're going through the jungle and they have that sword and they slash through all the greenness. Yeah, that's what I imagine she would do with this stick. I gave her a couple of rips at the bottom of her leggings. I assume that would be from thorns and stuff that she's walking through. And I made them a very dark grey, which I kind of regret because I think that a light grey would have suited the atmosphere a bit better, especially because all the buildings seem to be this sort of washed out grey as well. I gave her a sort of bracelet that she might have weaved out of grass or something, and she also has a similar thing in her hair, which is tying up a little bunch of her hair. I'm not sure how that would hold, but it looks kind of cool, so I kept it. And for the hair color, I just went with white because I didn't really want to add any more colors and mess this up. And I think it was probably the best decision because it keeps it all nice and clean, and it also balances out the dark gray of the leggings, which I didn't really like. And yeah, that's that one done. Now on to the next one, which is inspired by this picture. This image is very, very sci-fi and futuristic. It's all quite grey and muted. There are a couple of pops of colour in places, so I decided to do that for this character as well, but most of it has to be very desaturated so that she would fit in with this background. I decided to go with a child because I had this idea that she's kind of living in poverty in this very overpopulated place, so you know, she doesn't have many options with what she's wearing, even though she would really love to wear a big dress and a lot of pink, so she tries her best with what she has, but that isn't very much. And she also has hand-me-downs, so as you can see, this jacket is very big on her, as well as the cargos. I imagine that if I did a full body drawing of it, the cargos would definitely be going over the top of her shoes. I did use pink for the jacket, but I made sure to use a very desaturated one, and the color I used for that was Lipstick Natural in the Ohuhu set, so if you have that, yeah, this is it. And I also went with a desaturated yellowish color for the cargos. I added a little butterfly clip in her hair, which I'm going to color pink in a second, and this kind of just symbolizes the way that she would like to dress up a little more fancy. She just doesn't have the options to, and I think that she would have got that for her birthday or something, so it's a very sentimental gift. I love the way that you can see only her fingertips poking out of the sleeve at the bottom, showing that it's too long for her. Also, the shoulder starts like halfway down her arm. Overall, I just think this character is so cute, and if you put her into a story or something, I would definitely feel very sympathetic for her in her situation. It just turned out so cute. I love the big eyes and how they're looking up, her expression, and the way she's kind of biting her finger. It's just so cute. I kind of want to draw like little kids a bit more often. I was thinking that I could draw my OCs as children. I think that would just be funny to see how they've changed and what they would have worn in their hair when they were younger. I wanted this character to have very dark hair, almost black, so that's what I did. But in a second you'll see, I kind of wish I went a little bit lighter because it kind of washes out the line art and you can't really see the shape of it. I don't know, it just looks messy for some reason, so I think There should have been a way that I could give the illusion of dark hair by still using lighter colours. I hope that makes sense, but you'll see later on as well that doing this style of line art and then using dark colours just doesn't really match, and I guess that's why I didn't like the dark leggings in the previous drawing either. So I think if I want to do this line art style from now on, which I am considering, then I'll try to use a few more pastel colours instead of really dark ones, and if I do want to do something dark, I can use shading to kind of portray that instead of just colouring it dark, you know? Did that make any sense? Okay, moving on. This is the picture that I chose for this character. It's very fantasy. As you can see, there's a massive castle or kingdom thingy, but it also looks kind of old. There's a lot of reds and yellows in the castle, and then surrounding this is loads of hills and mountains and birds, and there's a character at the bottom. You can see the silhouette of them riding a horse and also another character, and I think that the one riding the horse would be this girl, so that's where I got the idea for this one. In my head, this was going to turn out amazing. I had this whole idea of her outfit and everything, and then I put it on paper and it just failed really badly, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but I definitely can, and this is my least favourite drawing of the three, sadly, mainly because it's the last one. I definitely rushed the line art, and I guess when I coloured this I was also rushing because at this point it was late in the day and I just wanted to get done with filming. I really should have planned out the colour scheme at least, because that is what caused the downfall of this whole drawing. The dress was fine, I used some reds and yellows and it was looking pretty cool, it matched the environment, and then I went for this dark blue cape and no, it's just not for me. The fact that I used like all the primary colours and dark versions of them, it just doesn't look good. And I showed it to my mum as well after, and she did say that all the colours were a bit too dark and they didn't really work well together, and I definitely agree. I do wish that I had planned out the colours or maybe looked at some inspiration of other fantasy drawings in this style, because I haven't ever really tried to do that sort of outfit, so I wasn't sure what colours to use, and I think I should have used a lot more browns and muted tones. So yeah, I guess you can tell that I don't like this one. I do really like the image that I used to inspire it, and I kind of want to try it again. Maybe I could recolor it digitally, because I do have a picture of the line art without any coloring, but that is going to take a lot more time, and I don't think I'm going to fit that in this video at least. Yeah, I'm kind of done talking about this one, so I just wanted to quickly address the whole uploading situation. It's been 2 weeks since I uploaded my last video. In this 2-week gap, I've had my exams at school, so I've been revising and stuff. I don't know if it paid off, but yeah, that's what I was doing instead of drawing, and that also means that I haven't finished my sketchbook yet, even though I'm really close. I think I have about 5 pages left, which I should have finished by now, but I just haven't had the time, and I also think July will be quite a busy month too, so I'll try my best to upload because I don't have exams, but I still have a lot going on, so it might be a tiny bit irregular, so I'm sorry about that, but I will be uploading a lot in August. My school holidays only start at the end of July, so annoyingly it doesn't match up with a lot of other countries' school holidays, and that means you guys will probably be starting school when I start to upload a lot more, which is a little bit inconvenient, but I hope that you can look forward to then and all the videos I'll be posting. As always, comment suggestions for videos you want to see and also names for these characters.